Thanks for having me.
Now, just recently, City Chicks Unleashed at the RCW Academy. It was a great night for women's wrestling, especially in South Australia and in Australia in general. What were your opinions of the night, I guess?
I think it all went great. I think for a first all-women's show RCW have done, I think it was amazing. I think all the girls did amazing, and I couldn't be happier.
And your opponent, Kellyanne English, in the main event, she really took you to the limit in that. It went all over the academy, that matchup. Was it one of your toughest matches so far?
Yes, definitely. She's a tough one, Kellyanne, and she's been training a lot lately, and she's a really good opponent. So I expected it to be pretty big, but didn't expect it to get as violent as it did.
It did get pretty violent. There were chairs going all over the place, and she was even taking requests at one point. All the residents of Riot City were basically telling her what they wanted her to do to you. It was crazy, yeah. And then the ref getting in the way. We talked about that with Ree and whatnot, and then it just no contest. So yeah, the rematch is coming December 7th. You've got to be pumped for that.
I am. I think I've got a bit of retribution coming her way because she made me bleed, and I definitely wasn't happy about that.
No, well, I wouldn't be either. Look, what was your favourite match of the night, I guess, besides your own? Because a lot of people are saying that's one of their favourite matches. I don't expect you to toot your own horn, but what was your favourite your favourite moments?
I definitely would say I enjoyed the semi-main. I think it was Harley and Storm. Yeah. That was really good. Those girls were amazing, did a great job. Always enjoy both them girls in the ring, so I think they did great. But I also enjoyed Demi and Miami. I think they did a great job as well.
And now I know that you had a little bit of influence as far as this event sort of happening. It was something that you wanted to happen for a long time, an all-women's show in RCW, and I think we all wanted to see that eventually. And then you put it to the committee and they said, yeah, let's do this. That must have been really a really good moment for yourself and obviously for all the girls. But was there any sort of trepidation from yourself or from any of the other girls thinking, oh, will it come off the way we want it to, being the first time this has been done in Adelaide? We've seen it in Perth and in Sydney, but the first time in Adelaide, was there any sort of trepidation, or were you fully confident that the fans were going to love it, we're going to pack the place out, and it's going to be a top night?
To be honest, I always thought it was a great idea. I obviously love the women's wrestling and will always support the women, and it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. I've thrown it around the, talks at the gym for a very long time, and it has been laughed off like a lot as just something that, I want to do, but it's not going to happen. And I think eventually I just got to the point where we had enough women. We had heaps of girls in training, heaps of girls that wanted to come over and work RCW. And I thought, you know what, this is just something that will work. So many people wanted to get behind it. And the boys came around and they put everything into it and let me have control over heaps of stuff. And in the end, we did it and we pulled it off. And I think it was great. Great for a first show.
Definitely was. It was awesome. I mean, the people were spilling out of the academy, and we almost had to turn people away because there wasn't enough room in the venue. So possibly the next one might even be at a bigger venue, the Latvian. You never know. That would be awesome. That'd be really awesome if it comes to that. Look, I guess we'll get into your career. Tell the folks how you got into wrestling, because you're a fan as a teen. I know you're a big rock fan, and Trish Stratus and all those sorts from the Attitude Era. And then you ran into some of the guys in Adelaide. Like your Mimics and Grims and that you started up, basically had a lot to do with the beginnings of RCW. That's how your in-ring career sort of took off, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, I think you just pretty much said it all, so I don't have to say too much now. No, obviously I've loved wrestling since I was really young. I don't have any brothers, so didn't really have anyone to show me the way. I just discovered it on my own and loved it. Wanted to do it since I was very young. Didn't want to just watch it. I knew I wanted to do it. I watched it and was like, I could do that. That's something I'm very interested in doing. So I got a bit older and, met some guys, your Mimics and your Grims, and pretty much got into it straight away. As soon as I met them and found out they did wrestling and it was available in Adelaide, I was there and I couldn't wait to start.
And because you were pretty much the only female training with RCW and with those sort of guys in Adelaide for so long, and there were a few others that sort of, you know, it came and then they left and they sort of started wrestling around the place, and then you didn't see them after a couple of years. But I remember the first match I saw with yourself, and that was against Sarah J from Queensland up at the old YMCA at Carradinga. Back, this would have been my first RCW show, going back like 2007, 2006, something like that. That was years ago, but even then, watching you in the ring, it was easy to tell that you were, I guess, ahead of the curve, with more so than others that were around. You just sort of had that instinct of knowing how to work and how to get reactions when you needed to, when to get the fire, all that sort of stuff. And it was really evident that, I guess, you were learning from... Not only learning from people who knew what they were doing, but also you were taking it seriously. Like, this was something you wanted to do, you wanted to pursue, and you weren't just in there for, you know, sort of and giggles. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you're saying, and thank you. It was very nice. Yeah, I guess I've been lucky. I've always played a lot of sports growing up, been very athletic, so when I got into wrestling, I did tend to pick it up, I think, pretty easily. But I also trained for a long time before I got in the ring because we didn't have any other women. As much as the men at the school tried to tell me they had other girls when I started, they didn't. I was the only one. So I was happy to sit back and train and learn everything. And I guess eventually I got sick of it and I was like, get me someone to fight already. Like, this is taking forever. So they did. And I basically wrestled every show since then, so it's been good.
And one of those matches back then, like you were saying, you know, you had to find other girls to wrestle because there weren't that many even in Australia, let alone Adelaide. And one match that is up on YouTube, and folks, you can go check it out, Savannah Summers versus Grimm. That's just mind-blowing, the fact that you wouldn't expect a woman to go in there and wrestle with a guy, or most people wouldn't. I mean, those of us that are around wrestling and around training and whatnot, you know, the girls take it as hard as the guys, and they give it as hard as they do, and it's, I mean, when you're training with the guys, it's got to be, how do I put it, you're on the same level. You know what I mean? Like, as far as when you're training. So there's no, you're a girl, I'm a guy, I'm a girl. You know what I mean? Like, we're all there for the one common purpose. Yeah. Make everyone better. That match with you and Grimm is just incredible. The beating that you took in that thing. I mean, tell us about that match, because that's, in RCW, that's kind of a classic.
It is. I think being that it's the only intergender match that we've ever had to date, even though it was many years ago, I feel like it was so long ago now, it is the only one to have ever happened. So it's still remembered like it was a pretty big thing at the time. And it all, pretty sure it was an accident. Like, we had a girl pull out, and so we had no girls match for the show, and we didn't know what to do. So that's what we did.
Why not? It was
good, and it got over, and it was, you know, definitely one of my most memorable matches that I'll ever have. So very happy about that.
Well, look, we'll put that one up on the Facebook page, so you can all check that one out. Savannah Summers v Grimm. Brutal stuff. That was. Just recently, you were in America. You were travelled to the States. You wrestled for Shine on their iPay-per-view, AIW in Ohio, and made it onto their Girls Night Out DVD. And you got a spot on the Shimmer iPay-per-view and DVD. Now, that must have been a thrill to get onto the main show, because you weren't initially scheduled to be part of the actual Shimmer card itself, were you?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't going to be on Shimmer at all. But got lucky enough to meet Dave earlier while I was over there, and offered me a spot on Sparkle, which I was thrilled about. I thought that was great because I wasn't expecting to be working the show at all, so anything was great. And then getting there and being bumped up to the main show was amazing. Obviously, it was something I didn't expect, but definitely something that I will remember forever.
Have they asked you back? Or can we not reveal that?
Oh, Dave definitely talked to me about coming back, and I don't know if I can reveal that because I don't know if I'm going to go back on it yet. So It doesn't really matter. But I mean, he obviously wanted me for the 2 days, and I couldn't even be there for the 2 days, unfortunately, because it wasn't pre-scheduled. So it was lucky I could just do the first day tapings. And he definitely wanted me to stay, but I couldn't. And yeah, definitely said, you know, if I want to come back, I'm more than welcome. So hopefully, you know, if I get some money together, I'll be able to get back over there. That'd be great.
Let's get a Kickstarter happening. Send Savannah back to the States. Not that we want to get rid of you, but that would be awesome to see you doing that. And is there any, I guess, sort of difference between the States and Australia as far as the indie scene? I mean, we had Adam Pearce on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that, you know, it's all the same. I mean, it's the same routine. Is that pretty much the case?
Yeah. I think it's pretty much all the same. The difference for me was there was like a lot more girls. Obviously, I did girl shows. There was heaps of girls, and we don't have that over here. I mean, we did at City Chicks. It was great. I love doing those shows where you have so many girls together, and it's fantastic. And that's what it's like over there. And it was great. I had an absolute ball while I was there.
That is really cool, and I know, yeah, like it was something that you've been looking forward to for ages to get over there to the States. So we're all really proud of you that you went over there and accomplished that. And yeah, hopefully it's not the last time. Who have been some of your favourite opponents, I guess, in Australia and even overseas now?
I guess some of my favourite, I'd have to say my favourite person to work with is Miami. Obviously, I've worked with her a lot. Yeah. We've had a lot of time together, and some of my best matches that I've ever had have been with her. So I would definitely say Miami. She's great. She's great in the ring, and I think obviously getting to train together, we mesh very well together in the ring. So definitely. Love fighting her. And Demi coming up has been great as well, because we get to train as well together, so fighting each other is great, and I know we're just going to have some amazing matches. So can't complain.
She's got a lot of awesome matches ahead of her, I think, no doubt. Is there anyone that you would like to wrestle that you haven't yet in Australia, or anyone that you like to tag with or train with? Is there anyone in general in wrestling that you would like to work with in some way?
Yeah, definitely Storm. I've said this a few times. I'd love to get in the ring with Storm. We finally got her down for the first time to Riot City for the City Chick show, and she said that she had a great time. She could have been lying, but hopefully she did, and she'll come back sometime and we can get in the ring together. That'd be fantastic. And also Michelle. I've never ever fought Michelle. We have been in the ring together before. Yes, she refed one of my matches, but never fought each other. So that would be great. Either of those two. There's plenty others, but I could just list every girl and, you know, that I haven't fought.
Looking at where you are now wrestling, you've done the heel turn again, and we're seeing, you know, the dark side, and we're hearing the screeching and seeing the hair pulling, and it's the good old Savannah Summers that's back. I guess you prefer working heel rather than a baby face, and you prefer being hated out there?
It's nice to be loved as well. It's funny because you say like the good old Savannah, but you know, I was a face for the first like 5 years of like Riot City.
I guess in the time that I've been calling matches at RCW, and then, you know, like the run that you had not too long ago.
It's okay. I think everyone remembers me best as being a heel. So I definitely enjoy being a heel, I think, more than being a face. It's so much fun. You can do so much more with it. I love it. But, you know, like I said, it's always nice to be loved as well. Sometimes even being a heel, you'll get love, so it's okay.
Yeah, Sam Forbes, I'm looking right at you. Where do you see women's wrestling going from here? I mean, like I've talked about this, you know, with Ree before, where Australia, like the scene here is thriving like it never has before. Do you see it only getting better? Do you see a time where perhaps we have an all-women's promotion in each state, and not just like, you know, your PWA and RCW and NHPW, you know, doing the one-off shows, but do you see it perhaps as a quarterly sort of thing that might happen, or do you still think it's going to take some time to get people acclimatized to a full women's wrestling card?
I think it'll still take a while. I think women's wrestling is definitely going off and definitely taking off in Australia. And the shows that have been happening in the last couple of years, only show that, I think. But I think it still will take, a little while for everyone to get on board. I think it takes a specific sort of person to want to really push for it, because you know that it's probably not going to do as well as the men's stuff. So you've really got to put a lot behind it, and to find someone in every state that will do that, I think would probably take a while. But I'm happy with what we've got going at the moment and what there is out there, and it's good just to give all the girls that are out there other options to wrestle, because men's shows only have usually the one women's match, and with more women wrestling coming to be there, it's hard to get your matches when that's all that is on each show. So having shows like this only helps those girls get more matches and make contacts and, have fun. Enjoy wrestling.
Wrestling, yay.
That's it.
And do you aspire to go back to the? I mean, we talked about you wouldn't mind going back to the States, but WWE. I mean, is it ever something that you've thought of going? I'd love to go and try for a developmental deal, or have you sent tapes over there to them even?
Of course, it's something I think anyone would be silly not to say that they'd be interested in. I mean, if they came to me today or tomorrow and said, hey, do you want a contract? I think I'd definitely take it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I like money. But
they don't need Josh Matthews anymore. They could do with JD Armour. I know exactly.
Yeah, sure. I feel you. But, I mean, I'm getting older, and I know they don't look at the women very well when they get older. I'm not saying I'm old, I'm just saying getting older, okay? No big thing, whatever.
That's a good Bon Jovi song, by the way. Not old, just older. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, I will keep wrestling as long as I can, and I will keep doing what I can to the best of my ability for as long as I can. And I will do my best to, go back over there and, put everything I can into it. But, yeah. I don't know. That's about as far as I think it'll go at this stage with me. I'm not really looking for anything or worried about not, fulfilling some big dream, because really I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, look, we're going to leave it there for now. We're hoping to, at some point down the track, catch up with you again, and we'll have Savannah Summers hopefully back here again on Wrestle Radio Australia. Before we take off, though, we just want to get all the plugs out of the way. So if people want to get in touch with you, with Savannah Summers, if they want to book you for a show, Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of jazz, tell us where to go.
Well, you pretty much just said it. RCW Savannah for Twitter, and Savannah Summers obviously on Facebook pages, whatever, hit me up. Or my website. I've got them all.
All over the interwebs. Well, awesome. Look, Savannah Summers, thank you for joining us on Wrestle Radio Australia.
Fight, punch, crush, stop. You know what I'm trying to say. You getting tossed up, you getting bossed up, laid flat on the mat. We get to my shit, taking it across a map. I got a fight team deep in the right scene. Hit you like a light beam, giving you a nice dream. We shine bright, leaving losers on their backside. We high and mighty, leaving bruises on you hot guys. You fake the funk and you tussle with the wrong crowd. Submit your team, take you on, cause we pound for pound. The elite on the street, take you down under. We defeat all the weak, we the top gunner. So raise your hands up, throw them high in the air. Cause when the bell rings, we the ones standing there. So when the music pumps, stop and just take a listen. With a new edition, submitting all of the competition.
We are the fight team, damage our strikes like lightning. Shine like light beams, damn it, submit, you might scream. We twice swing, then you having them nice dreams. Right thing, submit, that's quick before this tight. We are the fight team, damage our strikes like lightning. Shine like light beams, damn it, submit, you might scream. We twice swing, then you having them nice dreams. Right thing, submit, that's quick before this tight.